610-850-0990 is the number. 610-850-0990. We're online at 990theanswer.com. So, look, this prison thing, this statewide release everybody from our jails, that probably came from Governor Levine as well, I would guess. Have we checked? All these orders that are coming down, well, that's what he said. He said, let me listen one more time, just so you know, yesterday.
I've asked all Pennsylvanians to show our gratitude by staying home as much as possible. And as Dr. Levine said, wear a mask if you must go out. But you deserve more protection. Today, Dr. Levine signed an order directing businesses to...
Did you know that? Did we elect Dr. Levine? I don't remember voting for Dr. Levine. Does Dr. Levine get to issue orders for what the hell I do in Pennsylvania?
I would think not.
I don't remember reading in the Pennsylvania Constitution or any constitution that a health director gets to order me to do a damned thing.
Like Fauci and Birx advise President Trump. They don't decide.
Right.
What's going to happen.
Yeah. What if that's good point. What if Donald Trump stood up there and said, Dr. Birx has ordered Dr. Fauci, hey, everybody. Hi, President Trump here. I just wanted to pass along. I had a meeting. Dr. Fauci has ordered the country shut down. Peace out. Oh, you think they'd let Trump get away with that? I'm glad we have an attorney on the phone. Maybe he can help me figure out how I'm thinking about this incorrectly, although I doubt I am. He's the former assistant district attorney in Philadelphia. He now practices civil law in pursuit of justice for victims of sexual abuse. He's written a piece at Broad and Liberty, one of our favorite go-to sites here in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia specifically. Guy D'Andrea joins us now. I hope I said your last name right, Guy. Good morning.
Good morning, Chris. You did.
Am I out of line in saying I find it abhorrent that we have a governor that is punting and saying that our director of health gets to issue orders for the citizenry of the Commonwealth?
I don't think he should state it that way. I don't think that's certainly the ideal phrase that he should, or phraseology that he should be using. I mean, I think he should be using phrases like, I've listened to the advice of my, and then fill in the blank.
I'm ordering it. I'm the governor. I'm the governor. Right. I order it. Not my health directors ordered it.
Right. I've been advised. I've listened to the advice, and here's my decision. Yeah, I mean, that I think would be the most apropos way to say it.
And here's what I know about this guy, because everybody that's around him or near him that in fact, we're going to talk to a state legislator coming up here at 7:30, Representative Dawn Kiefer. She's confirmed. Everybody near this guy, he's totally insulated. He talks to no one. He takes no advice from anyone. He's like, nobody knows who he is or what informs his decision-making. And then he comes out and he says his director of health has ordered this or that. This guy's, he's not inspired. He doesn't even strike me as particularly smart. Like, what informs his decision-making? You've written this piece. I know you're not here to talk about Tom Wolfe, but you kind of are, in that there has been a statewide order that we let people out of our local jails and prison system under the auspices of keeping people safe from COVID. Who ordered that? Did he order that?
I don't know. I don't think that's clear. And, the reason I wrote the piece is because I find, not just from the ACLU, but this troubling trend and wave where it is completely defendant and criminal focused. We've lost complete sight of victims of crime, communities that are affected by crime. And as a former homicide prosecutor who saw the worst of the worst, it's deeply troubling, and it's always under this guise, Chris, of, well, this is for nonviolent offenders. They just keep using that buzzword, nonviolent offenders, nonviolent offenders. But then when you really read what they're asking for, that's not what they're asking for. They're asking for almost a blanket release of prisoners, and it's deeply troubling. It impacts the community in ways that those who follow that sort of mantra and that ideology don't even, I don't believe, appreciate what they're signing on to, if that makes sense.
Guy D'Andrea with us. The ACLU goes for broke. PA residents dodge a bullet. What is the status presently of people being released from incarceration across the Commonwealth? Where does it stand now? Who has been released, or do you know?
Yeah, I mean, so they're doing exactly what I advocated for in the piece, and meaning that the individual counties, the 67 counties in Pennsylvania, their local commissioners, their mayors, their individuals who are boots on the ground in our diverse counties across this Commonwealth,
yes,
making decisions on a county-by-county basis. The King's Bench petition that was filed by the ACLU has been denied, thankfully, by our PA Supreme Court. So they lost that petition for King's Bench to have the prisoners in the local jails released. And now it's being done on a county-by-county basis, on an individual basis, as it should be.
And by the way, again, I know you're trying to stay in your lane, and I'm sorry to drag you into something broader, but why don't we, from a legal perspective, from a constitutional perspective, why don't we look at everything we're doing in this stupid situation? Why don't we look at it by a county-by-county basis? Luzerne County is not Montgomery County. Chester County is not Schuylkill County. Like, it's different. It matters. I mean, there are outbreaks. There are prison populations that are more crowded, less crowded, more dangerous, less dangerous. Like, county officials should be able to handle a lot of this. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong when it comes to the local jails, because you're absolutely right. I mean, you have counties where there may be a couple of dozen inmates, and then you have counties like Philadelphia where there are thousands. Yes. And so when the ACLU saying release everyone, as one statement saying release everyone 45 years or older, well, how many people is that? Which they conveniently don't tell you, right? I mean, how many people in Philadelphia would be released if we just released everyone, regardless of why they're in jail, if they're 45 years or older?
What do you make of Larry Krasner? I mean, I see here in your byline that you were a former DA, assistant DA in Philly. So when you see Larry Krasner, the current DA of Philadelphia, tweeting out, hey, rise up, if you're a real progressive, then you need to be out in the streets advocating for prison release. How does that land on your ears?
Not well on a couple of fronts. One, in this era of COVID-19 right now, literally, I had to drive, probably the first time I left my house in 3 weeks, I had to drive to get some groceries, and I drove by a park, and there had to be 300 people, arm in arm, no masks, all chanting and advocating for the release of prisoners because it's not safe for inmates to be in jail. And I'm laughing because I'm like, wait a second. There's 300 people, arm in arm, no masks on, saying it's not safe for them in jail because they're so close to each other. And it's like I don't even know what adjective I could use to describe what I was watching as I drove by with my mask on in my car by myself to the grocery store. It's just, and so when I see tweets like that, this new wave, I don't even want to call it liberal or even democratic. I mean,
no, it's not. It's like nothing else I've ever known. I mean, I've been friends with, I'm relative with Democrats, people with whom I don't agree with politically, but they're not. This is lunatic, this stuff.
I mean, it's its own party. I don't know what else to call it. I mean, it's the idea that, and look, when I was a DI, I used to go against Larry Krasner. He was a defense attorney when I was a prosecutor, both in major crimes and then ultimately when I went to homicide. And, he was a talented defense attorney, and that's where he should have stayed in that world because that's what he knows. People who sort of fall into that camp of thinking, I truly believe, and I've heard some people say it in my time there, I mean, they don't believe a single person deserves to be incarcerated, regardless of the crime. And it's appalling to me, and it's just no feeling, no thought for the community, no thought for the victims, and this idea that if people aren't incarcerated, regardless of their crime, will make it safer for the community, which is the message that's actually said. I can't even begin to process that logic.
Guy DeAndrea has written a piece at Broad and Liberty. The ACLU goes for broke. PA residents dodge a bullet. An important read, and you're right. Thankfully, we have a Pennsylvania Supreme Court that injected some sanity into this lunacy and are letting county-by-county decision makers come up with prison release plans. Thank you for this piece. Thank you for your analysis of it. Thank you. Thanks for being allowed to be dragged into other things that didn't relate to what you were here to talk about. But you happened to catch me on a day right off the top where I'm pretty fired up. So thank you, though, very much for your insight today.
Absolutely.
Have a great day. That's Guy DeAndrea at Broad and Liberty. The ACLU goes for broke. It's bizarro world. We live in bizarro world. This isn't even political differences anymore. This is, I don't know, guys, politics. I didn't ask. But I mean, this is his point is, look, I know Democrats. I mean, I was an assistant DA in Philadelphia, for heaven's sakes, but this is otherworldly.